So the iPhone 16e, Apple's cheapest new iPhone out there. Is it worth it? Maybe, maybe not. Today, we're gonna unbox it and check everything about this new iPhone. So if you're excited as I am, let's hop into the unboxing. So this is the new iPhone 16e, the newest and cheapest iPhone out there, aka their budget phone, quote unquote. It is no longer called the iPhone SE, even though it is replacing the previous cheapest iPhone, which was called the iPhone SE. This phone is just known as the iPhone 16e. The question is, does this mean that we will be getting the 17e and 18e and 19e and so on and so forth? Or is it just a marketing thing done by Apple to make people feel that this is closer to the 16 lineup than what it actually is? Well, in any case, I am super excited to test out this thing and see if it's actually worth your money. I just got it, so today I'm going to share my unboxing experience and my first thoughts and impressions with you guys. If you have watched my previous videos, you know that I absolutely love my iPhone 13 Pro, and it's going to take a lot to replace that phone. Now, enough chit chat, let's hop into the unboxing of this little device. All right, as you can see, I have the iPhone 16e in white. It does come in black and white. I usually tend to pick the black phones, but I really like the white one this time. Just simply looking at the design, the first thing I notice is how different this iPhone looks compared to the current lineup of iPhones. I mean, when you look at the camera, this only has a single camera setup compared to the dual or triple camera setup you find in the 16 and 16 Pro. Obviously, only having one camera is a drawback that we'll come back to later, but from pure design, I think this actually looks super good. It just looks more clean and minimalistic, and I think that the new iPhones tend to have a bit of a bulky camera, which makes you super afraid of damaging the camera, but this one just looks super clean and neat. And I must say also that the white color is super white. You know, sometimes Apple has these off-white color where that it is more of an egg white than pure white. Well, this is like super white. I don't know how well it comes across on the camera, but in real life, it looks fantastic. And look at it now, I don't regret getting the white version at all. I also love the feel of the phone, especially the back part. There's no longer a clear glass, so you avoid those fingerprint markings, and I really like the design. It feels like a iPhone 14, just how it holds in the hands. Holding it feels very good actually. It's just around the size of a regular iPhone you would expect, and it feels lighter than the iPhone 13 Pro and the 12 actually. New for the cheapest iPhone is the action button. This button allows you to customize it to do different functions, so it can work as your standard mute button, or you can actually customize it to be like a camera button or a visual intelligence button. So previously, when I had the iPhone 15 Pro Max, I did not use the action button at all for anything else than the mute function. But I would try to give it an honest try this time. Let me know in the comment section if you use the action button and what do you use the action button for actually. In the front, you might notice that there is no more home button. The previous iPhone SE had a home button, but now it is gone in favor for Face ID. So the front side of this phone literally just looks like any newer brander iPhone, making it more easier to see that it belongs with the iPhone family than the older looking iPhone SE. However, I'd still wish that it actually had the dynamic island, which is missing here, unfortunately, compared to the iPhone 16. Something that is very exciting, however, is that the iPhone 16e has USB-C charging. This means faster speeds all over. But if you're someone who has lightning cables all over your home, well, get ready to buy new accessories if you pick up the iPhone 16e. Luckily for me though, I have different cables, both USB-C and lightning, so that shouldn't be a problem. Just looking at this phone and the screen, honestly, I am super impressed by the design of this new iPhone 16e. The screen size is approximately 6.1 with a Super Retina XDR display, which is going to give us deeper blacks, and it is no longer LCD. However, speaking about the screen though, it is still going to be 60 Hz. And I do understand Apple wanted to separate from the Pro versions and the standard versions. It would be odd if this newer, cheapest iPhone had a 120 Hz screen while the regular 16 didn't have a 120 Hz screen. So I understand it, but personally, man, I am a 120 Hz guy, and I can already tell that this is gonna be such an issue for me. But I am probably not the targeted audience for this phone, which I will get back to in my review. But I feel like this phone is mainly going to be used by companies who wants to buy a huge bunch of stocks of phones for their workers, or for elderly parents or grandparents who just need a new phone. When we look at the camera, as mentioned previously, this is a single camera with 48 megapixels setup. It's a 2-in-1 camera system which can film up to 4K 60, which is actually pretty good for a basic camera system that can take quality pictures and film in high resolution. It basically outperforms, in theory, my iPhone 13. So I'm actually going to be super excited to test out the camera differences between the iPhone 13 Pro and the iPhone 16e. I think the 13 Pro is more closer to the 16e because that will probably be the jump I would expect people to make, going from a 13 to a 16 or 12 or 11 to a 16. So with the 2-in-1 camera, you can have the standard 1x zoom or the 2x zoom. However, though, there is no longer any ultra wide. This really sucks for those who love filming in ultra wide and cropping in or taking landscape photos. Not having the ultra wide camera also means that there is no more micro mode. Personally, I don't use a lot, but I'm pretty sure some people tend to use the micro mode to read like package labels or something on a package or anything else, just to get those super high detail zoom. So you're actually missing out on that function as well. And the more I think about it, we're basically just missing out on some key features here and there for like no obvious reasons. I don't know what Apple is thinking, but I'm sure they have their plan. The iPhone 16e has Apple's latest, which is the A18 chip. Simply put, it is now capable of running Apple Intelligence. If you watch my 13 Pro review, you know that Apple Intelligence is not quite there yet, but I'm actually excited to try out Apple Intelligence on this phone to see if that in itself could be a reason for you to actually upgrade. I doubt it, but who knows? Now, looking inside the box, let's take a look for a second what we actually get in this iPhone box. Usually, it's not really much to look at, but I tend to just like the unboxing experience of getting a new phone. So the box is very different to the 13 Pro, but similar to the 16 and 15. You have the USB-C cable that is now in an oval shape, which is nice, I think. And obviously, there are no Apple stickers anymore, which is sad for the people out there who love their Apple stickers. But at least you do get a SIM card ejector tool. And obviously, you do get the manual or the documentation within the packaging. And that is basically it. Nothing special to look at here in the package, but just a neat little experience. So this is how the phone looks, and these are my first few thoughts. The negative parts immediately has to be the price. This phone is priced at $599 or just $600, and that is a significant leap from the previous cheapest iPhone, which was the iPhone SE that was priced at $429. You're basically paying $600 for a 60 Hz screen with no magSafe, but super good battery life. On the other hand, you have people who just want the latest and cheapest and smallest iPhone out there that's brand new and that's going to have the same phone for 5 to 6 years, and they want the phone to be supported for those 5 to 6 years. This might be the phone for you. But then again, I would think that maybe getting a 15 or a 15 Pro refurbished might be ideal. Overall though, guys, my first impression is positive, but with some skepticism. This is no doubt going to be a decent phone for most people, and for your average user, this phone should do the job, but I can't shake this feeling that Apple is playing a fool out of us. In any case, I will be testing out this phone and giving it a shot as my new mainly driver. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. And by the way, we have surpassed 500 subs in record time, and I'm so grateful for every one of you that takes the time to watch my crazy face yapping about tech. It really means a lot to me. The next goal is going to be 1,000 subs, so if you want to be on that journey with me, don't forget to hit the sub button, cause why not? And hey, maybe the iPhone 16e will be on that journey as well. Probably not. Peace.